in every game of life, people like competent people. They like competent player. Why? Because competent player can just do and undo. You see, there's a particular final going on, and there's one Ronaldo somewhere that will just play a shot from outside the box, and boom, the particular team has won something. They've won the Champions League just like that because of one competent player. Do you see? That is why many people want to play with competent player and reliable player, because that one person can just change their career for them. And that's why they also run away from lazy players and blacklisted players, because one person can just make one error and that is the end. And that is the end. That's how you just see that the whole trajectory will change. This Argentina is the World Cup winner, and it is not France, because one Colomani did not pass the ball to Mbappe when he has to pass. So these things happen many times, and that's how the game of life is. Welcome again to POK Experience, and what I want to discuss today is life as a game. So I actually wanted to explore this ideology that life is a game. But again, it's not just a game. Let's call it series of games. And there are some games that the moment you are born in life, you are already playing those games. There are some games that comes as you grow older and older. There are some games that you get invited to play. So naturally, you cannot play that game except you are invited. So those are kind of exclusive games. But again, one of the things you want to put in mind before we go deep into this whole game thing is that in the game of life, one of the general rules is, or let me say this first, for you to actually get good at something is dependent on how many times you could actually engage that particular thing. Say for example, you want to learn the game of chess. You could get better playing chess. You could get better playing chess by playing it many times. So the more you play, the better you get naturally. And that's how everything works, right? If you are learning marketing, for example, the more you do marketing, the more you know marketing. Not the more you read about it or read the books or take courses. That's not how it works. The more you do it, the more you learn. And that is why hence the adage that experience is the best teacher, which is a fact. Experience is the best teacher. So you can only get good at a particular thing by doing it over and over. Now, let's say life is a game. How can you get good at the game of life? The answer is by you playing the game often and often. But of course, you cannot play this game against yourself alone. Most likely a game, before you can actually play a competitive game, it has to be between you and somebody or more than two people. And then it means that people must actually want to play with you for you to be able to play the game of life. People must be ready to play with you. They must want to play with you. And then while we go into this, we will talk about this type of games that I think exist or categorize all of these things they are as. And then we'll talk about the type of players. And one of the type of players that we have in life are the blacklisted players. So you don't want to be a blacklisted player, right? Because once you are a blacklisted player, people don't want to play with you. They don't want to play with you. And if they don't want to play with you, it means you don't get to play repeated games. You don't get a chance at iteration. And it means you can't get better. And if you can't get better, you're already losing. There's nothing like stagnant, right? You can't be stagnant in life. Your life is either getting better or you are reversing. And that is why one of the things I always tell people is you need to read. You need to learn daily. You need to be a student of life. You need to learn daily. You need to read something daily. You need to pick up lessons daily. And that is why you grow daily. If you're not growing, you are reversing. You are dying. So back to our game. So you don't want to be a blacklisted player. These are the guys. We'll go into it and then we'll talk about all of these things on why you don't want to be a blacklisted player. Because if you are blacklisted, you don't get invited. People don't want to play with you because you're already blacklisted. And and then you want more people to also want to play with you. How do you get people to want to play with you? That's another strategy we talk about. So let's go into it actually. We have competitive games, we have collaborative games, and we have invite-only games. These are the three types of games that I think exist. Of course, it can be bigger than this, but I think generally we can categorize every game that we play in life under these things. Say for example, the game of marriage. That is an invite-only game, or let's call it a collaborative game, right? Because of course, before you play a game of marriage, somebody needs to invite you, or somebody else also have to invite your accept your invite. But also, you can also call marriage a collaborative game because both of you are playing together. You want to win at this particular thing. So another thing, another type of game is competitive game, which I will start with. We have things like business, we have things like the career ladder, we have things like sports. These are competitive games. They are very, very competitive. You know, right? The business world is very competitive. The career ladder is very competitive because they are limited, and it's either only one person can occupy some positions at times. Of course, and there are no win or draw. There are no draw at times. It's either somebody is winning or somebody is losing. But one of the things you want to put in mind when you are playing competitive games of life, maybe you are at your workplace. If you're if you have a job currently, that is a competitive game. And you need to ask yourself, what are the rules here? If you have a job, you're already playing a competitive game. Either you like it or not, the game has started. Because if you are an associate marketing person, for example, one of you will become the marketing manager, maybe if you're marketing lead. If you are a software development intern, you want to become a senior software developer, right? Either you or somebody else will get that position. If you are applying for jobs, somebody will win, so many of you will not get the job. So it is a competitive game. So you want to ask yourself these two things. What are the rules? So there are some rules that are hidden rules, and there are some rules that are unhidden rules. If you want to actually learn more about what to do when you get a job or how to play the competitive game of career ladder, go listen to the episode I made around if you're a new hire, if you're a new job, this is what you do. I've forgotten the episode, but it's about what you should do when you are newly hired. So back to the game. You want to ask yourself, what are the rules in this competitive game? What are the known rules? What are the rules that are maybe hidden or unknown, or let me say unstated rules that are not actually written down, but those are the rules they play with? One of the things you should understand is that as a business owner, one of the things I always repeat that Babagidi said in an event I attended is that culture is what you hire, culture is what you fire, and culture is what you compensate. So if you want to know the hidden rules in a particular company, what you should look at is what are the things that they are compensating in this particular company that I am, in this organization. What are the things that are being compensated? What are the actions that get punished? What are the actions that get people to frown at you? What are the things that people do that makes people don't want to be their friend? What are the things that get the CEO angry? You want to look at those things. They might not actually be written down. You might be working in the company and you see that a lot of people asleep the CEO. It might not be written that, hey, you have to asleep the CEO and everybody has to be praising the CEO like a god. Yeah, but if you get there, you have to understand that this is an unwritten rule. This is an hidden rule in that organization that everybody is playing with. And if you cannot do that, you better start finding your way out, or you join them to do that. The game is the game. So you need to actually look at this thing. What are those what does winning look like in this particular competitive game? So in the career world, what does winning look like? What does it mean to you? You want to define these things, and then you have to now actually tell yourself that, hey, how can I also compete honorably in this particular game so that many people will want to play with me? So if you are in a workplace, for example, and then you know there's a role of chief marketing officer that is open, that all of you in the marketing team are actually eyeing, you are working to get. Maybe the head of content wants to be the CMO, the head of design wants to be the CMO, the head of advertising wants to be the CMO. So all of you might want to be the CMO. But again, any of you that becomes the CMO will still have to work with these people. If the head of design becomes the CMO, that means that person you still have to continue working with the head of content that did not win, head of advertising that did not win, head of socials that did not win that particular game. So you have to know how can you compete honorably in this particular game, so that other people will still want to play with me. Maybe you and a particular person is bidding for a particular contract, and then the person did not get it, but you got it. You have to understand that you still have to work with that person. Maybe that particular company has the only access to supply a particular building material to the country. You still have to work with them. So when you are winning, you still have to win honorably. You still have to win in such a way that people will still want to work with you. People will still want to play with you in the future. If you win in a very, very despicable way, or maybe when you win, you go about clowning people and saying, "Oh, can't you see? I'm the winner, I'm the boss," and all this kind of thing. People will start working towards your downfall. Why? You did not win honorably. You did not win in such a way that people will want to keep playing with you. So these are the type of things you see when it comes to business, when it comes to career ladder, when it comes to sport. You see sometimes when a particular football club and another one is playing, you see when the team score like 5-0, they will just be playing around, and then it means they are trying to extend courtesy and respect to their opponents. They don't want to like smash their opponent and then disgrace them in a kind of way. So you see those kind of things. It means winning in an honorable way, so that you don't just get people to run away from competing with you or playing that kind of game with you. I don't want to actually go too much, but you can research more on this particular competitive game. But again, to reiterate, the things you want to actually know when it comes to playing competitive games of life is what are the rules, what are the known rules, and then what are the hidden rules. What are the hidden rules that are not stated? And then what does winning look like here? And then how can you compete honorably so that people will continue to want to play with you over and over again? The next game is collaborative game. We see games like marriage. That's a collaborative game. Another game that we can call a collaborative one is partnership, business partnership. A co-founder this, co-founder that, I'm the founder, I'm the co-founder. Those are collaborative games. And then this game you are either winning together or you are losing together. That is one of the important things that both of you must know when it comes to this game, this particular collaborative games. You have to know that you are either winning together, because the husband and the wife, you are either winning in that game or you are losing in that game. In this game of marriage, what are my actions that I will do that will make this partner to want to stop playing? For example, in marriage, once one of the partner wants to stop playing, it means that the person is searching for divorce. And once they are searching for divorce, it means they want to stop, they want to terminate the partnership, they want to terminate the game. And then you have to ask yourself at the beginning of the game that, hey, what are those possible things that I can do that will make you to stop playing this game? Again, you know that you are not playing against your partner. One of the things that actually leads to termination of game in this kind of collaborative games is when both people that are meant to cooperate and play together are playing against each other. The opponent is not within, the opponent is outside. For example, the marriage, one of the things that my mentor always tell me is that it is you and your wife against that issue. It is you and your wife against the issue. So maybe the issue is actually let's say, what is the very common issue? Maybe cheating. It is you and your partner against that issue. Maybe a lady is trying to infiltrate your marriage. You have to actually go to your wife and let her know that this is what is is happening, and I'm very, very vulnerable. Yes, and I'm very, very vulnerable, and you need to come in and help me here. maybe you should come to my workplace and say hello to me. Maybe that one you need to know that it is both of you against the issue. One of you said something that is not cool. It is both of you against that particular issue. Same as business partners that we have today, founders and co-founders. So one of the things that leads to the problem of cooperative game is when people that are meant to work together are not competing against each other. Maybe the wife and the husband are not competing against each other. Hey, I'm the most educated. You are not as educated as me. I am the breadwinner. I make more money than you. You don't have money as much as I have money. I'm the one that buy the most gift for the kids. When both of you that are meant to be cooperative are not competing against each other, it means you've reversed the game. The game should be both of you against an external factor. Maybe both of you in the business against another business or your competitor. But when both of you are trying to create a kind of power tussle internally, because maybe, oh, look at me, I'm the founder, but the employees don't respect me, don't pay much attention to me. When I say stop, they don't do it. They always follow you, the co-founder. Then there's an internal tussle. That is when both of you lose the game. But one of the important things in this particular type of game is how to become the ultimate team player. And that is it. If both of you strive to become the ultimate team player, you will see how seamless both of you will keep working together and how seamless both of you will keep winning. Things like reading the same books. One of the things that my wife does is she comes to my library and she pick up my book and she reads them. It makes conversations better between us. It makes her know where my ideas are coming from. Maybe when I say things, she's able to understand why I'm saying those things, and if I really mean those things or if I don't even mean them. Another thing is it becomes very, very easy to joke. They understand your joke and all of those kind of things. They also know how you will react. They can also easily predict how you will react to some things and what you will think or how you will imagine something or the kind of solution you will prefer without even stressing you. So those are the kind of things that help both of you when it comes to collaborative games. So let me move to the next one, which is invite only game. These are games that are things like exclusive clubs, the inner circles. They are very, very much hidden. You don't know about them. And one of the things that happens here is it is a status game. The goal here is to achieve a particular status in the society, and what they are actually fighting for, the game is all about social capital. You get to hear many people that say, hey, I donated $100,000 to this particular charity so that I can get invited to this particular club. I'm doing this and this so that so person and so can give me this. You get to hear, there are stories I've heard that people will donate. Maybe people will donate to their church in a very big sum so that they can confer them with position of maybe bishop or father of the church, and then it's just most of the time is when it comes to invite only game, it is a status game. Basically, they are fighting for status in the society and they are trying to bid for higher social capital, higher social currency. And I believe these are the three ways we can categorize games for now: competitive games, collaborative games, and invite-only games. And I've been able to actually tell you what is important in this game. Collaborative games, you want to be the ultimate team player. Competitive games, you want to know the rules, the hidden ones, the ones that are not hidden, and then you want to compete honorably so that more people want to play with you and you can get invited to more of these games. So now let's talk about the players. The players. We talk about the game, the game itself, but now let's talk about the players. The one type of player, blacklisted player. Like I said in the beginning of this particular podcast, you don't want to be a blacklisted player. Who is a blacklisted player when it comes to game of life? They are the lazy people, the cowards, people that are in prison, people that are not reliable. These are blacklisted players. And the moment you exhibit the kind of toxic, these traits are toxic actually. you will get blacklisted. The thing is that they might not write it on your forehead that you are already blacklisted, but you are. You will just see that people will stop inviting you to games. And what do I mean by that? It means that people will stop recommending you for roles. People will stop telling you that, hey, I want to play with you. One of the things that you are, one of the ways to know that you're a very good player is when you get invited to play a lot of games. Say, for example, somebody wants to start a company and they are discussing it with you. That, hey, look at what I'm trying to do. Look at what I'm trying to do. It means you are becoming what I called MVP. But we'll get there. But we are actually talking about blacklisted player for now. So you don't want to be lazy. You don't want to be a coward. You don't want to be unreliable. These traits are toxic. They ruin the game for others. And that is why people run away from you. And that's why people try to sub you away from their team. They try to raise up the plaque and say, hey, lazy player, come outside. I need another person to come and play with me. They also increase the cost of playing. Say, for example, you are playing Champions League and one of your teammates is not actually marking very well, or let me say the number 7 is not tracking back enough to help the number 2 in defense. You see that the number 7 will be subbed off because it's costing the team a lot. So you don't want to be lazy, because once you are lazy, you are costing the team, you are causing problem, you are ruining the game for people. So if people don't want to play with you, people will not invite you. And the moment you stop playing, that is it. You are done for. That is why Jose Mourinho will say you have to check if they play, where they play, when they play, and if they play at all. And the moment a player is not playing, brother, that is done. You are done. You are done for. So you don't want to be a blacklisted player. And if you're already blacklisted, one of the ways you can actually remove yourself from the blacklist is to actually volunteer. Say, for example, you get hired by somebody and then you didn't perform and then they fire you. You have to try and volunteer for more people to show that, hey, I used to be lazy, but now I'm a better person. I can now execute. I can now command results. I can now give you better game overall. I can now be a very good contributor to this particular game that you want to play. So you don't want to be a blacklisted player. The second type of player are the people we always call NPC. These are people that they are non-player character. They refuse to play. They refuse to participate. One of the things that drive people to become this type of player is depression. You get to see that when people are depressed, they don't want to participate in the game of life. They don't want to join you to build a startup. They want to join you to play and to do anything fun. They don't want to get married and all this kind of thing. So what is the cost of not playing? That is it. You cannot choose to not play. That is the point. Because if you choose not to play, you are already losing. They always assume that they are not losing, but no, you are losing. You cannot decide to be an NPC. Like I said, you have to participate. You have to do something. You have to join the games of life, because the moment you are born, the game already started. Either you like it or not, you are being categorized. For example, you go to school, you go to primary school, and the moment you are in primary school, you are already playing the game of education. And where is the peak of the game of education? It's professorship. Are you going to get there, or do you don't want it and want to go for another game after school? You want to choose to play the game of business. One of the things I always tell people is you can decide the type of game you want to play, and then you can change the game you are playing at every point in time. You might be playing a game that is actually at your weakness. Say, for example, you are playing the game of marketing and you are not good at marketing, but you can write codes. You are very good at engineering. It's better you stop playing the game of marketing and start playing the game of engineering. Nobody will beat you. You can swap game. You can switch game. You can also switch club. You can move from Real Madrid to Manchester United. You are free to do that, because you are the one that decides where you want to play, how you want to play, and when you want to play. But the whole end is you have to play at your strength. You have to play to your strength, because people will judge you at the game you have chosen to play. Yoruba always make one adage. They will say "Ìdíṣẹ́ ẹni láti ń mọni lọ́lẹ," which means that it is, we can only categorize somebody as lazy at the basis of their job. I hope I've actually interpreted that very well. It means that we can only call a phone repairer lazy if he cannot repair phone very well. We cannot put somebody that is a phone repairer and put them as on a bricklayer job and we start calling them lazy. We cannot do that. We can only call them lazy if they cannot do their job very well. And then that's why I'm saying the game is actually dependent on you. You can decide on where you want to play and how you want to play. You can also decide the country you want to play in. That's why you see a lot of people emigrating, leaving Nigeria and going to countries like US, UK, Canada, Australia, and all of those things. Why? Because they are making decision on this is where I want to play. This is the country where I want to play. Many people are also saying, oh, I want to actually be a business owner. I want to stop working. Again, they have chosen that. But one of the things you should know is that it is at your own game that you have chosen to play that people will either judge you to be either lazy or coward. And then they will either decide to blacklist you at that particular game. So you have to be very, very careful when you are picking a game. And again, when you have picked that game, you can change the game at any time. You can decide to stop playing the game at all. You can decide to sell. For example, there are businesses I've started that I've failed at, and I've decided to sell off those businesses and stop playing that game. Why? Because if you keep playing, people cannot judge you based on your result at that particular game, which is it is what it is. So what I'm trying to say next is there are people that are very good at a particular game, and we call them MVP. You want to talk about Ronaldo, for example. If Ronaldo leave his club today, every club wants Ronaldo. You want to talk about Messi, for example. Everybody wants Messi. Why? Because they are MVP. These guys are competent at what they do. They are extremely competent at what they do. And that is the goal. That is who you want to become. You want to become somebody that everybody wants to play a game with. Pick marriage, for example. Women want to play the game of marriage with men that are rich, men that are masculine, men that are strong, men that can protect and provide. And why? It's because women get vulnerable when they give birth. So they understand how vulnerable they become when they give birth. They cannot do anything, they cannot provide at that time, they need to take care of themselves at that time. So at that particular period, they want to be with a man that is strong enough to provide for himself and still have enough left to provide for them and the baby. That is why women look for rich men, so to speak. It is because they get vulnerable at that time. So in the game of marriage, they are considering this thing that, hey, the MVP, that is why you see that rich men, rich guys are MVP. They are the most valuable player in the game of marriage, and they are sought after. Everybody, the women want to play that particular game with them. They are the Ronaldo, they are the Messi of marriage. People rush to them because they have shown competence. They've shown that they are good at this. They've shown everything they need to show to be the Ronaldo of marriage. And that's why you see that some people also in the game of marketing, in the game of in the game of web development, they get invited most times, they get called most times. That's why you see some people, they don't get out of job. Recently, Zuckerberg was trying to hire people from OpenAI, and he was giving them a sign-on fee of $100,000. He said, no, I think it's $1 million. I think if you leave OpenAI and you come work with Meta, we're going to give you this lump sum of money as a sign-on. Again, those guys are extremely competent. They are the MVP of their industry, and that is who you want to become. For example, somebody is working at OpenAI, and Meta is lining up to want to work with them as well. Do you see that? Despite we having a lot of AI engineers and machine learning people out there, Meta still wants that particular person. This is how it is in the game of life. It is the same way that you will see a lot of single ladies wanting to be in a relationship with a married man. Why? That married man is an MVP. He's rich, he's competent, and he's extremely masculine. So that is why they want to be with him. They will also line up to be with that person. So that is how it is in every game of life. People like competent people. They like competent player. Why? Because competent player can just do and undo. You see, there's a particular final going on, and there's one Ronaldo somewhere that will just play a shot from outside the box, and boom, the particular team has won something. They've won the Champions League just like that because of one competent player. Do you see? That is why many people want to play with competent player and reliable player, because that one person can just change their career for them. And that's why they also run away from lazy players and blacklisted players, because one person can just make one error and that is the end. And that is the end. That's how you just see that the whole trajectory will change. This Argentina is the World Cup winner, and it is not France, because one Colomani did not pass the ball to Mbappe when he has to pass. So these things happen many times, and that's how the game of life is. It is, you can see in anything you want to do, you always see these things. And many people always say, no, hey, it is capitalism. It is not capitalism. People get competent, and it's only few people that are competent that acquire the things of life. It is in the Matrix principle that said that we'll take from the people that don't have and give to the people that have. It is that crazy. Why? It's because as you make more money, as you get competent, more people come to you, more offers come to you, because you are becoming an MVP. And then many people will drive towards you. And it's because those people who are running away from the blacklisted player, they don't want those players. They want you, the competent person, to play in their game. And it's why the masters of every niche takes it all. That's one of my best quotes. The masters of every niche, the masters of football are the people that are taking the most money. The masters of music are the people that are taking the most money in music. The masters of art, the masters of food, agriculture, science, of anything, the masters of every game takes it all. And you can become a master. All it takes is at the other side of insane iteration. Iterate, do more of it, do more of it. That is why I told you that the number one condition of the game of life is to know how to compete honorably, so that you get invited to play more and more. You lose a job, you'll be able to get another job. So you don't want to do something in the former job that will get you blacklisted. You want to make sure that you are getting invited over and over again, and you are able to do more, so that you can learn more and experience become your best teacher, and you are dancing towards becoming the MVP of that particular game. The last type of player, they are the host, the game host themselves. They are players, but they also become hosts. How? Say maybe somebody is an employee, and then they go and they go and create a startup. Somebody that used to be an employee, and then they go and create a startup. The person has become a game host themselves. They're also a player. Maybe they are working as an employee somewhere, and they have somebody like me. I'm a game host, and I'm also a player. I have a marketing agency, which is called POK e-commerce agency, where I do e-commerce and customer service for e-commerce marketing and customer service for e-commerce owners, especially African e-commerce in the diaspora, in the US, UK, and Canada. And we are making nothing less than ₦1 billion for some clients month on month. Yes, it's that crazy. Some of our clients are making $100,000, $150,000 month on month. So I'm a game host in that kind of place, but I'm still the CMO of a particular company as well, which means I'm still a particular player. So these are the dynamics of the game of life. You have to understand that you are either the type of games that we have, like I said, the competitive games, you know the rules, know the hidden ways, know how to compete honorably. Why? So that you can get invited to play more. Because the more you play, the better you get. Yes. The invite only game, no, it's competition of status. Right? The collaborative game, you want to be the ultimate team player. Also, always ask yourself, this action I'm about to take, will it stop my partner from wanting to continue playing with me? Because you are both winning or both losing. There's nothing. In divorce, everybody loses. The wife loses, the husband loses, the kids involved lose. Divorce is a loss game. There's nobody that wins in a particular in divorce. So, and the next thing is the type of players. You have the blacklisted players, the NPC, the MVP, and the game host. I believe putting this into the perspective, putting life in a gaming perspective, has helped you to actually understand some things and how to maneuver life. This is just me trying to put things in a better context for you, and I hope this helps. This is POK Experience. See you some other time.